about a large fentanyl bust in Polk County involving two Mexican cartels. They say now two of the leaders of those cartels have been arrested.
America, Florida law enforcement just pulled off the largest fentanyl bust in Polk County history, seizing 64 pounds of pure death hidden inside car batteries. We're talking about $4.5 million worth of fentanyl, enough to kill 14.5 million people. That's more than the entire population of Ohio and Pennsylvania. But here's what's really shocking. This was a coordinated operation between two of Mexico's most violent cartels, the Sinaloa and the Jalisco cartels, running drugs through Arizona straight into Florida neighborhoods.
8 people, including those you see here, 6, are accused of trafficking fentanyl into Florida and Arizona from Mexico. The Polk County Sheriff told us investigators have been tracking the alleged operation for nearly a year now, and he says it's the largest bust in the history of Polk County.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This bust perfectly illustrates how Mexican cartels are flooding American communities with poison while our politicians debate whether the border is secure. Sheriff Grady Judd just saved millions of lives, and I'm going to break down exactly how this operation worked. Let me break down what investigators found. These weren't your typical drug dealers with baggies on street corners. This was a sophisticated cartel operation using car batteries as smuggling devices. Take a look at these compact bricks of fentanyl with embedded numbers and names like Cartoon Network characters neatly hidden inside car batteries.
The Cartoon Network and neatly hidden inside of car batteries. The Polk County Sheriff told us what you're looking at is 64 pounds of fentanyl worth about $4.5 million.
Sheriff Grady Judd put this in a perspective that's going to blow your mind. We do have a crisis when 340,000 people have died in 5 years in the United States of America. And 64 pounds of fentanyl powder and pills is enough to kill millions of people.
We do have a crisis when 340,000 people have died in 5 years in the United States of America.
The 64 pounds of fentanyl powder and pills, the sheriff says, is enough to kill millions of people.
This operation involved 8 people working for 2 separate Mexican cartels, the Sinaloa cartel and the Jalisco cartel. These are the same organizations that have turned Mexico into war zones and are now bringing that violence and death directly into American communities. Here's how this sophisticated operation worked. Investigators tracked this network for nearly a year, watching as cartels coordinate shipping from Mexico through Arizona into Florida. This wasn't random. This was a carefully planned supply chain designed to flood American streets with poison.
2 separate undercover operations involving 2 cartels.
Largest drug trafficking organizations in Mexico.
Starting with the fentanyl pill investigation almost a year ago.
80,000 pills that came in from Phoenix.
The first operation involved the Sinaloa cartel shipping fentanyl pills. In the initial seizure, they got 80,000 pills from Phoenix. Then in April, another 40,000 fentanyl pills were seized, delivered by Regina Headsmith. Last month, they seized another 40,000 pills from another Sinaloa cartel member.
Then back in April, 40,000 more fentanyl pills were seized.
It was delivered by Regina Headsmith.
But this is just the beginning. The second operation involved the Jalisco cartel. And this is where they found 64 pounds of powdered fentanyl hidden in car batteries. Sheriff Judd explained, how are they delivering it to us? In batteries, 64 pounds of fentanyl in just these 2 operations.
A separate undercover operation involving the Jalisco cartel, investigators found more fentanyl, this time in a powdered form.
And how are they delivering it to us? In batteries, 64 pounds of fentanyl in these 2 operations.
Let's talk about the deadly mathematics of what was seized. Sheriff Grady Judd said this bust potentially saved lives up to 14.5 million people. To put that in perspective, that is enough fentanyl to kill everyone in Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Our detectives and our agents from the federal, the state, and the local level potentially save the lives of up to 14.5 million people.
Big numbers right there. It is being called the largest fentanyl bust ever in Polk County.
This was the largest seizure of fentanyl in the history of Polk County Sheriff's Office. But here's what really gets me. Between 2018 and 2023, 340,000 Americans died from fentanyl overdoses. That's more Americans than we lost in World War I. And it's happening because Mexican cartels are treating our communities like their personal drug markets.
Between 2018 and 2023, 340,000 people died of fentanyl overdose deaths in the United States. Did you hear what I said?
Sheriff Judd didn't mince any words about who these people are. These people are violent. These people want your money, and they don't care whether or not they take your life.
These people are violent. These people want your money.
This wasn't just a Florida problem. This was a multi-state criminal enterprise. The sheriff says the major operation took them to a stash house and drug operations in Daytona Beach and even in Atlanta. These cartels are running nationwide distribution networks right under our noses.
The sheriff says the major operation took them to stash houses and drug operations, also operating out of Daytona Beach and even Atlanta.
All 8 suspects are now facing charges linked to trafficking fentanyl and conspiracy to traffic drugs. And here's what's encouraging. Florida is taking this seriously. 2 years ago, the state legislature established a fund especially to help conduct drug investigations targeting fentanyl.
All of the suspects now face charges linked to trafficking fentanyl and conspiracy to traffic the drug.
This is what happens when you have leadership that actually cares about protecting American communities instead of worrying about the feelings of drug dealers and cartel members. Now, here's something that made my blood boil. These fentanyl bricks were embedded with numbers and names like Cartoon Network. Think about that for a second. These Mexican cartels are literally branding their poison. This isn't accidental. This is a deliberate marketing strategy designed to make their product memorable and appealing. They're treating deadly fentanyl like it's a consumer brand, complete with logos and character names that kids could potentially recognize. The sophistication of this operation is staggering. From car battery smuggling methods to branded products to multi-state distribution networks, these cartels are running operations that rival legitimate corporations, except their product kills people. Sheriff Judd and his team just didn't stumble onto this. They conducted a year-long investigation tracking these networks across multiple states. This is the kind of law enforcement work that actually protects communities. America, this bus represents everything that's right about American law enforcement. When they're allowed to actually do their job, Sheriff Grady Judd and his team just prevented a catastrophic amount of poison from hitting the streets, potentially saving 14.5 million lives. So let's be clear about what this really represents. This is what happens when Mexican cartels treat American communities like their personal drug markets. The Sinaloa and Jalisco cartel are running sophisticated operations designed to flood our neighborhoods with death. And they're using everything from car batteries to cartoon character branding to do it. The 340,000 Americans who died from fentanyl between 2018 and 2023 didn't die from some abstract drug crisis. They died because foreign criminal organizations are waging criminal warfare against American communities while making billions in profit. This is why border security matters. This is why we need to designate cartels as terrorist organizations. And this is why we need more law enforcement leaders like Sheriff Grady Judd who aren't afraid to call evil what it is and do something about it. The 8 people arrested in this operation face serious federal charges, and they should. But the real victory here is that 14.5 million potential victims will live to see another day because American law enforcement did their job. I'll keep you updated on more stories like this as they develop. And remember, every fentanyl bust like this represents lives saved and families that won't have to bury loved ones because of the cartel poison. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.